Today we're going to be talking about factoring quadratics. For this example, we're going to use the quadratic 8x squared minus 24x minus 144. The first thing you want to do when you're factoring quadratics is look to see if all three terms can be divided by the same number. In this example, each of the terms is divisible by 8. So when we divide each by 8, we have 8 times x squared minus 3x minus 18. The next thing we need to do is look for two terms that have the sum of negative 3 and a product of negative 18. Now when we do this, we see that the product has to be negative, so we know that one of the terms must be positive and the other must be negative. We also see that the sum of the two must be negative. Therefore, the larger of the two numbers that we come up with needs to be negative. I always like to start with the product. So when I'm looking at the product of negative 18, I'm going to list out what the possibilities could be. So we have negative 1, positive 18, 1 and 18, 2 and 9, negative 2 and 9, and 2 and negative 9. We also have negative 3 and 6, and positive 3 and negative 6. Now, these each come out to negative 18 for the product, but we also need to look for a sum of negative 3. So when I'm looking for the sum, for this one, I get 17, this one, negative 17. So we know that those can't be it. This one, we're going to get 7 and negative 7. So we also know that that's not it. So it's going to be one of these two. And with this term here, the sum of the two being negative, we are going to know that the larger one is going to be negative, so it must be that one there. So when we're writing this, we're still going to have the 8 there, and we're going to have x minus 6 and x plus 3. And one way that you can FOIL this out and make sure that you have the correct answer to see if it equals this back here is to multiply them out. And so I'm going to forget about the 8 at first and just do the FOIL method right here. So I'm going to have x squared, these two terms, plus 3x, these two, the inside, minus 6x, minus 18, which is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 18. The next thing we need to do is multiply that whole thing by 8. That is going to give us 8x squared minus 24x minus 144. As you can see, this here and this here are equal to each other.